So, when you sat down to write, what helped you find your way into the story for this new Guardians of the Galaxy?
I was very excited to start writing, so it was very easy. I started writing the screenplay on the day the first movie came out, and I think that to distract myself from thinking about box office and numbers and all of this stuff, I just got right into the story writing process on this one.
Were you surprised at the response for the first one?
Surprised. There's always, you never know what to expect about anything when it comes to filmmaking, and you're always surprised on some level. I had a feeling my whole time, the whole time I was making the first movie, that we were creating something really special and something different. But at the end of the day, you're still surprised. You're still nervous that people aren't going to like it.
You have all your original Guardians back. What's it like to work with them again?
Well, it's great. I mean, we've become a family through this, and some of them are my actual family. My brother Sean, of course, and Michael Rooker and I have been friends for a long time. But Chris and Zoe and Batista, we've become very close. So it's been a great experience working with them again.
What is the theme of the movie when it comes to the relationship between the Guardians?
Well, I think the first movie was about becoming a family. The second movie is about being a family. And I think, like falling in love is a lot easier than staying in love. I think these are characters who have never known any sort of real intimacy. And so learning how to deal with each other in a more real way is what the movie is about.
What was it like directing screen icon Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell?
When I was a little kid, I used to run around in my backyard pretending to be Snake Plissken, who was Kurt Russell in Escape from New York, or Johnny Rambo from the Rambo movies, Sylvester Stallone. So these guys were my icons as children. So I was a little overwhelmed with them at first, I have to admit. And then over time, I got to know them both. They're both very funny guys. I think that, one of the things I do in life is I joke around a lot. So being able to play around with these guys and make jokes made it a lot easier. And I started to see them as who they were.
What did they bring to the table for this movie?
Well, I think, for Kurt, he plays Chris Pratt's dad. I think we needed somebody with an amount of charm and humor and depth that Chris Pratt has, which is a rare thing. I think with Stallone, he plays the leader of the Ravagers, and you need this presence of strength and integrity that Sly brings.
The music was a huge hit in the first movie. How did that success motivate, challenge, or guide you into selecting the music for the second one?
Well, I think I was much more challenged by choosing the songs for the second movie than I was by making the second movie. I'm a filmmaker, so making films is something I've done for a long time. I didn't expect the first album to go platinum. I didn't expect the first soundtrack to be up for a Grammy Award. So being able to make something else that kind of was as good as that was a little bit daunting. But I feel like we came through and created something pretty special.
Why is playing some of the music that is going to be seen in the film during this shoot an important part of the process of directing for you?
Well, I think something that happens in Hollywood a lot is they just hastily slap songs onto movies after they're finished. That's not the way. We write all of the songs into the screenplay, so they're actually an organic part of the film, and so playing them on set is an integral part to that.
You built some really impressive sets for the movie. Why were practical sets important to you?
Well, when you have a movie that has so much CGI in it and has two characters who are fully CGI or more, you want to be able to create practically whatever you can. So building big practical sets was good for the actors and for the crew to kind of have some understanding of what was going on.
Tell us about the look of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and what you wanted to achieve with the overall look this time around.
Well, I really wanted to push some of the elements that we had in the first film. I wanted to create a brightly colorful film that was even more colorful in the first movie. I wanted to create visual effects that have never been seen before. We have some of the biggest visual effects of all time in the movie. And I wanted to create something that was very stunning and yet had feeling of that old pulp art that I love from like the 50s and 60s and 70s, and just bring that to the screen in a real way.
What can audiences expect from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
Well, I would hope that what audiences can expect from Volume 2 is just the unexpected. I think they need to go in as a blank slate. We didn't just redo the first movie. I think it's a continuation of what those characters gave us in the first film, but something a little more as well.